In 2018, two things happened. First of all, Spiderman Into the Spiderverse came out and I fell in love with that movie instantly. Meaning me looked at Miles Morales and thought, yeah, he's literally me. He's literally me. He likes to draw, mixed race, struggles to fit in, curious, close to family, you get the gist. I wanted to be just like him. The second thing is that I happened to move houses soon after that, and when I did, some of my stuff got stolen by a guy and his son in a pickup truck as we were loading our house moving truck. A house move truck? Whatever that thing is called. That was my Uncle Ben Cannon event. I thought, right, that's it. Something needs to change. Especially because I saw them again a few weeks later on my new house's street and I was about to crash out, bro. But bear in mind that I was 11 years of age, obsessed with Marvel and convinced that life was like a movie. But it's not, mate. Sorry to break it to you. But let's be real. What was I actually gonna do? Yeah, nothing. But hey, it's the intention that counts, right? Speaking on behalf of all boys on this planet, I think that we've all had the urge to be Spider-Man at least once in our lives, right? Bro, I need to get this video done and dusted quickly. I'm freezing my nuts off right now. Like, it's sunny, but it's English weather, innit? So, being a superhero has always been a dream of mine. When I tell you that I used to be obsessed with Marvel, yeah, I don't mean just I like it. Obsessed with the capital O. To the point where I would make my own heroes with their comics, backstories, and even make a map of my town so that I could fight crime at night. Back then, my superhero name was the Dark Shadow, and I had a thought about it, and I realised that it's not actually as cool as I thought it sounded like, because dark and shadow ooh, sounds cool, but a shadow's already dark, mate, so it's like saying the wet water, like, yeah, jump. This video isn't really about swinging around New York, it's more about the Peter Parker side of things. By the way, guys, I'm freezing, yes, I want to get this video done and dusted, but just enjoy the view. Watch the sun. Bum. Magnifique. Aberrons le poulet, as we say in French. As you know, obviously, I make videos on the internet. I mean, duh, you're watching this video right now. Come on now. And I've always been someone that's quite reserved, you know. Bro, there's a pheasant like in front of me, bro. Shut up! But I was saying, I've always been someone that's quite reserved. I don't really tend to open up my feelings to people. I tend to be the one that people open up to. By having little bros, I've always tried to put them and others before myself. So naturally, I don't really share my stories or worries much. In some aspects, YouTube is the only way that I do. And at my school, there's people that know me as Peter Parker, you know, your average Joe, but oh, fiddlesticks, bro. This sounds really cringe now. But I have a sort of a kind of Spider-Man identity. Secret identity, if you may add. I have so much to share, but I just don't get the chance to. Prime example being this YouTube passion. There's a quote in the Bible that fits this perfectly. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. And that's the mentality that I follow. As you know, Spider-Man is Peter Parker and Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And sometimes they do feel like two completely different people. And that's how I feel, you know, with this whole YouTube channel. The person that my friends know, he's real. I mean, it's me, but so is the version of me that makes these videos. That's my true self, the personification of my creativity. Which one is the real me? That's the question. Am I this one or that one, or is it a mix of both? I don't like to brag about my personal achievements, and to be honest, I've got quite a fair few under my belt that I could boast about, but I have to remember that at the end of the day, I do this YouTube thing for myself. And sure, it'll probably get to the point where everybody knows what I do, like, oh, this guy, yeah, he does his TikTok, his YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And maybe people will support me, or maybe people will hate on what I do because it's so-called cringe. But at the end of the day, I do have to remember that I don't do this for other people. No matter how positive or negative their reaction is, I do this for myself. This YouTube thing is probably my biggest secret. I've now kept it a secret for the past 5 years across different channels, and I've never told anyone at school about it. But I'm a hypocrite. What if I told you that every single thing that I've just told you was a lie? Have I been saying that I won't tell my secret because I've been doing this for myself, or because I'm scared of what others might think? To be honest, at the start, it was more the second option, my fear of people judging me. One of the reasons that my first channel was animated wasn't because, oh, it's cool to have something animated, it's a bit different, blah, blah, blah. It was because it hid my face pretty well. I used to be a shy kid who didn't want an ounce of attention, to the point that I'd rather spend 10 times more effort on animations, literally, by the way. It took me way longer to do, just to avoid showing my face. The main reason why in secondary school I didn't talk to a single girl wasn't because I wasn't attractive. Actually, I was not very attractive. I'll show you a picture just now. The main reason was because of the fact that I just didn't want the attention. I didn't want the whole school to know that, oh, no, like such and such, blah, 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 blah. Like, for me, just that thought used to like scare me because, as I said, I just didn't want the attention. So that was a big kind of spotlight event where I just didn't want to get thrown under the bus, basically. Nowadays it's a whole different story, you know. I'm not really worried about that anymore. You know, I found my Spider-Woman, blah blah blah. That is That just came out honest and that is cringe. Almost getting goosebumps, flipping out. But yeah, I've changed a lot, you know, I don't mind the attention now. I still don't really like it, like for me it's just a bit of a faff, but I'm a changed man, as we say. Let's get back with the video. Luckily, things have changed now. I'm far from the introverted kid that I used to be. Don't get me wrong, he's still in there somewhere. When I show my videos to people, I cringe heavily, to be honest. But it's nowhere near as bad as my old fear of someone discovering my channel. In fact, now it's quite the opposite. I kind of want someone to know what I do, just to see how I'm going to react to it, because it must be a bit of a funky feeling, to be honest. And, you know, just as with great power comes great responsibility, this whole YouTube thing can come across as a burden, a heavy bag that I carry with me all the time. But bear in mind that I'm in my final year of school now. My A-levels are almost in a month, day for day actually. 15th of May is when they start. But you know, nobody obliged me to do this whole YouTube and internet content creation thing. Like, no one's ever told me, bro, you have to do it. Well, I guess by extension they have, because I was following a lot of content, you know, of top 10 business to do, start your YouTube channel, blah blah blah. And YouTube's always been a dream of mine, to be honest, since I can remember, to be honest. Since I've been watching videos since a lot of times in the sentence now. I'll say it again, since, you know, probably like the age of 8 or 9 that I've been on the platform. I've always thought, yeah, I want to be a YouTuber one day. So yeah, that's kind of why I guess I started this whole YouTube channel. Also because of the fact that I just want to help people, to be honest. I think that's my purpose in life, and I'll talk about it later in the video. But if I can, you know, put my voice out there, put myself in the mode so that people can feel better and have a better day, then I think for me, that's just perfect. I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, I've yapped a bit. And as I just said, this YouTube thing kind of encapsulates everything together in one spot. Unlike my studies, which I'm forced to do, YouTube is totally voluntary, but it gives me purpose. I don't want to spit on studies and university just now. I'll save it for another video, but to make it short, I don't really want to go to university simply because of the fact that I'm not finding any purpose to it. And even though it's the easy path for people my age, I want to go against the current and say that I disagree with going to it because it's the normal thing to do, you know? I want to take the real path that is meant for me, even if that means that it's a much harder path to walk on, then I'm willing to make the sacrifice. YouTube is and always will be my spare wheel in case I break down, because I thought about my passions countless of times over the years and they've changed massively. But the one that still remains by my side till this day is right in front of you, making videos. I'm obviously aware of the fact that by partaking in such an activity, especially in such a connected generation, you know, nowadays every person my age is connected on social media in some way or another. You know, I'm clearly exposing myself out there, and it's kind of ironic knowing my past self, which used to be the shyest person that I knew. You would never, if you told him, bro, you'd be putting your face on YouTube, he would never believe you. Like, I can tell for a fact. So yeah, it's kind of ironic for the fact that, you know, I'm exposing myself in such a way. And you might ask, what's the point of putting so much effort into something that doesn't even bear fruit? And that's a good question, to be fair, because it seems kind of stupid to do something where you're not actually getting anything from it. You know, why would you risk being embarrassed or doing this when you don't have to, and etc. The list goes on. The list doesn't actually go on, I've just run out of examples to say, but yeah, you get what I mean. So yeah, but I strongly believe the fact that my brain has been sort of wired differently to the average person my age. Now, it sounds like I'm boasting or trying to be superior, but genuinely, like, I couldn't describe it to you. I just feel a bit different. And it sounds a bit edgy, you know, saying, oh, I'm different, blah, 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 but it's true. To be honest with you, I've never really found that much fun in doing the activities that typical teens find fun, you know, such as going clubbing, drinking, vaping, all of that. I think consciously or unconsciously, I've always kind of lived a life of sacrifice, as in, you know, I've been willing to sacrifice my time, effort, I guess having fun, you know. I've always kind of said no to a lot of motives where I could have had fun, you know, with people, but I was like, no, I have a dream and I want to achieve that dream. So I can't really be partaking in activities that are going to either slow me down or even hang out with people that aren't going to push me forward. And that's a really tough thing to do, to be honest, you know, having to put people behind or just delete connections with people because the fact that they're not actually bringing you anything. And I feel like it's kind of egoistic in a way, but it has to be done, to be honest. As much as it hurts, sometimes you just got to let go of people. As I said, I've always lived a life of sacrifice because of the fact that, you know, I want to die without any regrets. Honestly, I'd much rather die at 20 with no regrets than at 75 with a shit ton of regrets. And, you know, I don't mind. Honestly, I don't think I would mind dying at 30. I've got a feeling that I'm going to die young for some reason. I can't explain it, but it's just been in my head for a long time and it's not something to be proud of at all. But yeah, so I want to, you know, live a life that I can look back and just say, oh yeah, I'm happy that I did this, I did that. And I know that it's an unrealistic model to live so that you die at 30 with no regrets, and I'll probably pick up new dreams and ambitions as I'm going through life, so I'll never actually reach the age where I can say, oh, I can die now in peace. I'm not making sense, am I? I'm confusing myself. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the fact that I want to live a life so that whenever I'm on my deathbed, whether that's at 20, 30, 40, 80, it doesn't matter, I want to be able to say, oh yeah, I gave it my best and I don't have a regret. I think that a lot of people probably don't understand, why do I do this? Why do I put myself in uncomfortable positions when I can just be on the comfort of my bed, just there? And to be honest, even I don't understand why I put myself through these situations. I think a person that's responsible is David Goggins, but I'll save him for another video. But one thing that I know for sure is the fact that the price of the life that I want is my current life. That's getting a bit deep now. Hey up. Spider-Man's biggest lesson is that power isn't just about strength, it's about responsibility. At first, Peter Parker sees his powers as something fun, but once he realizes that his actions have consequences, he understands that he has a duty to use them for good. In the same way, I used to see YouTube as just a hobby, something that I did for myself, but over time, I realized that creating content is a form of power, because what I put out there can inspire, impact, or even help someone, whether I intend to or not, and that's where responsibility comes in. If I have the ability to create something meaningful, do I have a duty to actually do that? Well, yeah, because of my faith. At the core, I believe that I was brought on this earth with a purpose, and that said purpose is to help people. No matter how big or small, I want to help. Although this YouTube channel is a bit like a baby, I'd like to grow into the big brother that I never had. Something or someone that can give genuine help to people in my situation. I believe that my purpose in life is to help others and make a change through my art and creativity, and that means that I can't just treat this YouTube thing like a small side thing. Whether my audience is 1 person or 1 million, I have a responsibility to stay true to that purpose and to create things that actually matter. So where does that leave me? At first, I thought YouTube was just a secret hobby, something I kept to myself because I didn't want people to judge me, but now I see it for what it really is, a responsibility. So linking back to Spider-Man, just like Peter Parker, I spent years hiding behind a mask, not a literal one, but a mask of secrecy, keeping this passion of mine away from the people around me. But the truth is that I'm not doing this for validation, I'm not doing this for recognition. I do this because it's a part of me, because I believe that my purpose in life is to create, to inspire, and to make a difference. Maybe this video will blow up. Maybe one day, people will finally find out what I've been doing all of these years, and maybe, just maybe, that wouldn't be such a bad thing after all. Because if Spider-Man has taught me one thing, it's that when you have something special, whether it's superpowers or a passion to create something, you can't run from it forever. So yeah, I might not be swinging around, swinging, that sounded zesty, swinging around New York City, saving people, catching crooks, but at the end of the day, in my own way, I think that through my videos, I'm doing what I was meant to do, help people, and that's enough for me. So until then, take care, and I'll catch you later. Bro, I'm struggling to speak. Thank freak, it's the end of the video. I'll catch you next time. Alright, bye bye.